Hello, happy holidays. It's TamikiaTT and Baby G. He was drinking his milk and eating his snacks. He should be napping. He is well overdue for a nap. So he just refuses to go down. So I figured I'd come in here a little early. I know some of you are likely preparing for the holidays. So I didn't want to do it too late in the day when you're really spending time with your families this evening and enjoying holiday dinner. But I didn't plan to come on here for very long because I do still plan to do the traditional New Year's, what has become tradition, the traditional New Year's live. Um, so I see some of you are starting to pile in. Let's see. Hey, Rachel. Hey, girl. All right, let's see if I can get, live chat instead of top chat. Hey, Tanya. Hey. Just trying to come in here really fast. Um, we'll give people a little bit of time. I know the last time you guys saw me, it was me telling you about my niece. And so I'm still trying to. All right, let me see here. I need to switch accounts here so I can see the chat a little bit better. Yeah, you see yourself? Is that funny? I don't know. My laptop is acting up right now, y'all. Yeah, yeah, he's probably delirious because he should be sleeping, Rachel. He should be sleeping, but I'm giving him this milk in the hopes that that will help getting him to sleep. And then he's got some snacks here that he will feed himself. Yeah. So sorry if the camera is rocking it. I'm doing a few different things here. I'm like trying to balance the laptop on one of his toys and it could fall over at any moment. So but I don't know, my computer is acting delayed on everything right now. So okay, my man's more snacks. So I wanted to just come in and hope you ladies are enjoying what's left of this year. It's been a really crummy year for a lot of us. Although I'm sure some great things have happened for some people. However, where I sit, 2020, throw the whole year away. That's where I'm at right now. Um, I'm trying to keep it positive and remain sane. How are you? I am okay. I'm just okay. What can I say? It's been a really busy time, since my niece. I was busy, with her services and things. And I was busy with work. So um, I haven't really, I feel like I'm just now starting my grief process, if that makes any sense. My niece has been gone, it's been almost 6 weeks now. Um, so I feel like I'm just now starting because I'm just now getting the opportunity to really like sit and rest. And now that I'm off work, I have a lot more free thinking time, which is a good thing and a bad thing. So I'm like trying to decompress from work in general because that has been incredibly busy, but then also just decompress from my emotional feelings, and sometimes that creates waves of feelings. Um, I miss my niece. I miss my little niece as well. But I've been doing little things to, everything around here kind of just reminds me, if I'm washing dishes or I notice something was broken or something's missing because it got broke or whatever the case may be, and I find myself fussing at her. And it's all love, but just little things that are like happening and I wish she was around that we could talk about, and um you know just certain things. Like every time I'm in my phone, I'm constantly reminded, of her. And so that's hard. It's hard. And I'm trying to do my best. And I know people were asking me how I was doing before and while I was at work. And I'm like, I'm good now because I'm busy. What I'm worried about is when I go on vacation and I'm not so busy. So far, so good. Although, I guess the blessing in it is that I'm off and I'm on vacation, and so was my sitter. So I get no break from the baby during this vacation, but the good news is he's around so that I can't completely fall apart. So I guess that's a blessing. But in general, I'm okay. Tensions are high, and hey, Miss Lex. And when he's being a particular terror, I am um you know irritated easily, but I think that's normal when your emotions are high. So he just dropped the snack. I don't know where it went. Uh-oh. I'm not gonna see. I told you he could fall over at any time. So I just I'm trying my best. Like yesterday, I had to take him out because he had been in the house for too long. I had to take him out for a walk. Thank you, Miss Lex. One of the reasons why I decided to come on and do the live, I actually pulled it down because my bonnet had fell off, and I was just like, well, let me just brush it down. And while I got good hair, I can, maybe come and do a quick live. But yeah, so he was getting particularly frustrating for me. And so we went on a walk, and little did I know I needed to walk just as bad as he did. And so that was good. So we got like a little reset um, yesterday. And so I feel good about that. So he got a reset. So he's not fussing about being in the same four walls. He's not going down for a nap. He's overdue for his nap. He's not had his nap yet today, and it's 2:30. He should have had his nap long before now. So but maybe he'll fall asleep while we're on here if I can manage to keep him contained. But I just wanted to come in and hope everybody's enjoying holiday time. Oh, thank you, Miss Lex. Thank you. And you know kind of give you an update. I meant to grab it out of the refrigerator, but I do have a new supplement. It is some glutathione. Mostly it's NAC NAC, but it does have some glutathione in it. I got it from my chiropractor. Apparently, you have to be prescribed it. I wanted to show it to you guys. I haven't taken it yet. I am so behind on my supplement intake in preparation for baby number 2. I am so behind. I'm also behind on the weight loss journey in preparation for baby 2. So it looks like, given everything with my niece, I'm trying not to stress myself out. No. I'm trying not to stress myself out about everything. So okay, clearly you don't want the milk anymore. What's your problem? You can't grab the camera. So you take glutathione or NAC, Rachel. Okay, here. I just don't want to. I'm sorry, y'all. If I let him go, I will be screaming for him for the rest of this video. So I'm trying to hold him, but he doesn't. You okay? You okay? Yeah. Somebody has a wet bum bum. Yeah. 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 He's 14 months. Ow. Don't grab mommy's hair. He's 14 months now. He has 10 official teeth. He's got an 11th that is currently breaking through. You can kind of see his third molar. Just the points of them are out. There's a fourth molar that he's working on. So it is dangerous to stick fingers in his mouth at this point. You are at risk of getting bit. So, childcare, Miss Lex, childcare is going fine. She's just on vacation now. So I'm on vacation. She's on vacation. Plus in what's in Rachel? I don't think I know that one. What's up? No, you just want to get away. So he's being very difficult. This is what I've been going through. He's just being super difficult. Actually, he's got a wet bum bum, so I am going to change him because he should be napping, and he gets particularly restless when he needs a diaper change. Excuse you. Who are you fussing at? Who are you fussing at, huh? He's very sassafras. Very sassafras. Okay. You got a lot to say? Come on. Let's change your bum bum though. So, at any rate, yeah, so things with baby number 2 are going to be a bit delayed for next year. Maybe that's all in God's plan for me to not be so stressed out in January. I don't know. I'm trying not to stress myself out. I do want the appropriate 3 months of taking my supplements and also use that time to get my weight back down at least to where I was pre-pregnancy. So, if I could do that, that would be great. But I just said yesterday I was going to start back on the weight loss train, and I was good for breakfast, and then lunch was late, and then I got frustrated with him. What I planned to eat for lunch sat in my refrigerator for too long, so that was spoiled, and I couldn't eat it. And from there, it was just like, okay, whatever. And so I ended up ordering some things in grocery delivery that are not on the diet. So I guess I won't be starting until maybe Monday, which I know some people were suggesting that maybe I start after Christmas, but I didn't plan to cook any particular meal for Christmas. So I wasn't in danger, really. Sorry, my phone's being loud. Let me shut that down so it doesn't make any more noise. I didn't have any plans to go anywhere. Come on, phone. Sorry. I didn't have any plans to go anywhere for Christmas. So, again, not at risk for, cheating on the diet or anything like that. So, Jaden. Oh, goodness. Baby Jade, why are you being so difficult right now? I need you to not be difficult. You're only being difficult. Yes. When he's overdue for a nap. So, let's see if we can't get him to focus on that nap now that he has a dry bum bum. Okay. Let's see. Let's get this out of the way. My computer's doing a bunch of things. No. Okay, nicotinamide, mononucleotide. Couple of women in IVF groups swear by it. Okay, all right. I never heard about it. I'm not sure exactly what it does, but hopefully it works well. I have to do some research on that one. But yeah, so I guess I'll show that one. This is what I get. I get hair butter all the time. And I'm trying to be real cool about it, but it hurt. That just hurt. That just hurt a lot. It's all because he wants to get down, so he's doing that. Ways to force an increase in NAD levels have been shown to improve mitochondrial function in old animals, reducing some of the losses that occur with age. Oh, okay. All right. What do you have to say? Are you finished? Do you have to use your inside voice? No screaming. You don't really have much to say, I guess. Shh. He's saying stop. Nobody's doing anything to him, but he can say stop. I guess I say stop a lot, and I must scream it because he doesn't know any other way to say stop other than to scream it. So here's a glimpse into my life. I don't know what to say other than I guess I need to say something else. I don't know if he's saying put me down, but he's definitely saying stop. And so as you can see, he keeps going like this. That's him trying to headbutt me to get his way. Occasionally he catches my chin. It's very painful. Don't shake your head, no. This is these are facts. So it's his way of getting down. The only problem is if I put him down, he'll run around here, and then I'll spend the rest of this video screaming for him because he's learned how to break out of the gate system, so that doesn't hold him anymore. So I've been trying him out of the gate system. And he's been enjoying some newfound freedoms, but he tends to get in places that I can't see. And when I call him, he doesn't. When I call him, he's saying he doesn't respond. So then I have to get up and go looking for him. So he's kind of getting into his little defiant mode, I guess you could say. But I'm trying my best to... You're going to knock the whole computer over with the camera and everything. I need you to chillax. So it's sleepy time. You stop. You don't tell mommy stop. You stop. So. This is life right now. So, if I were to put him in the stroller and take him for a walk, he'd be out like a light. That's the thing. But as you can see, he doesn't look anywhere near sleepy. Yeah. Yes. It's sleepy time. Yeah. You stop. You stop. You stop. Don't grab mommy's hair. You stop. Shh. Inside voice. He just wants to go. He just wants to go. He's very sassafras. Very sassafras. I'm bordering on disrespectful. Okay. So I'm trying my best to ignore a lot of the um, undesirable behaviors, because now I think he thinks that if he just screams for the sake of screaming, that he will get attention. So a lot of times we're in here and I'm just letting him scream at the top of his lungs, just screaming. He doesn't want anything. He's sitting in my lap. He doesn't need anything. He's just screaming for the sake of screaming because he thinks that will get him what he wants. So as you can see, I don't know where some of these behaviors he's learned at the sitter, had to be learned at the sitter. I don't know where he's getting them from here, because that kind of behavior doesn't get him anything with me. He does do this thing now, like he started spinning, and now he likes to put things on his head, like shirts, jackets, or a pillowcase, and walk around knowing that he can't see and bump and fall over things. So he has learned to climb on the couch all by himself. So all these things that you see at the top of my couch no longer safe. So as you can see, there's some scissors hanging up there. My vitamins and medications are sitting up there. All that has to move now because he can get up on the couch all by himself and then stand up on the couch and help himself to all of those things. When do I plan on starting another cycle? Rachel, that is a very good question. I've been saying all this time that I was just waiting for the new year so that I could start with a fresh deductible. And not like kind of split, you know, baby number 2 making across this year and next year. But I don't think it's going to start in January because I have a few things that I need to do. One, since he's been born, I still have not had a pap smear or mammogram. Thank you, COVID. So I need to make appointments for that. For those, specifically those 2 things. I'm still deciding on what I want to do clinic. Well, I'm actually not still deciding. I've decided that I am not going to follow my old RE to his new current clinic. I am going to use the clinic that he was using to do my procedures. That clinic is about an hour away. I'm familiar with everybody there. I'm familiar with the clinic itself. The only thing I'm not familiar with is the doctor there. So, but the staff is really nice and they're not changing like a revolving door. So it must mean he's some kind of nice, right? Now the new clinic that my RE is at, from what I understand, the embryology lab is in Jacksonville, or at least that's what the website says. So what that means is I would have to go all the way up to Jacksonville, which is about 2 hours away, to have my procedures done. The good part about that is I have somewhere locally to have all my monitoring, but at this point, I'm not even sure my doctor will go with me to Jacksonville for the procedures, or if I will just have to be up there with a bunch of strangers, who are just the team at that lab, in order to get my retrieval and transfers done. So, plus I like the embryologist at the clinic that I was using before, and okay. Oh, good burpee. You're excused. Say excuse me. You're excused. So, I kind of want to stick with my embryologist. I'm not saying the embryologist at the other lab is horrible. I don't know them. But I have a good rapport with the embryologist at this other clinic. So, I kind of want to. That's probably the main reason for me to stick around with this clinic. So I haven't even contacted them or anything. I want to get my pap smear mammogram done and then make the phone call, and that'll give me some time to drop some weight because I have picked up weight, man. I can't even blame it on the baby. I'm not sure that I can even blame it on COVID, but I am up there where I first started when I first started TT Sand at that 270 mark, yo. So it's it's been a rough time. Good news is I know how to lose weight. And I certainly want to get on that ball game before any hormones come into the picture, because once that happens, then the weight is just incredibly difficult to lose. And I don't want to be stressed this time around, right? I no longer have the pressure of not having a baby, as this is baby number 2, but so that's great. But I do also want it to work. And I don't need anybody fussing at me about my weight or anything like that as we go along. So I need to drop 35 pounds. And I don't want it to take another 8 months to do. So that's where we are. Come on, Jaden. You're being very difficult right now. Anyway. So that's where we are as far as the next cycle. When it will start, definitely a frozen transfer, provided I can get some viable embryos out. I do plan to do PGS testing again, since these will be my own eggs. Hopefully, I mean, shoot, I'll be baby G is a 38-year-old egg, or I should say was a 38-year-old egg. I'm 40 now. I'm pushing 41. I'll be 41 in April. So I don't know what the quality of these eggs are. So I am very nervous about this first egg retrieval and what will come of it. I'm hoping that my lack of vitamin D when I did my retrievals before contributed to the not so great outcome that I had, even though the second opinion already said that was quite typical of my age. So, but also my vitamin D was in the toilet, which I didn't know at the time. So now that I know to correct the vitamin D, I'm hoping that will get me a result. So this time around, I'm actually looking for the same kind of results as last time. I'm hoping the vitamin D kind of pull the results down last time. So if I can get about the same as last time, then I might be able to get a baby out of the situation with one retrieval, and hopefully not have to do a second. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, and that is I'm only preparing myself to do 2 egg retrievals. That's about all I got in me. You know, IVF is a lot. It's a lot to go through physically. It's a lot to go through emotionally. It's certainly a lot to go through financially, even with insurance support. So I'm only going to do 2 of these. And if I don't get a baby off of 2 egg retrievals, then I'm just going to stop trying. And, you know, maybe I'll meet someone, fall in love, and manage to get pregnant naturally. But then that would have to happen in the next couple of years, right? Because I'm not a spring chicken. Sheepy time? Yes, sleepy time. I'm not a spring chicken, and so at this point, if a man wants some kids out of me, considering I do have that block tube or whatever, odds are we might need to do IVF. Not saying I can't get pregnant naturally. I don't know. I don't know if I can get pregnant naturally. I got to think it would be a little bit harder, but definitely harder because I'm older. So I don't know, but he would have to show up like yesterday. So, I don't know. Maybe I never wanted to have an only child, but maybe that's that might be my destiny, and I'm just trying to stay grounded in what could happen. Hello. Right. There's nothing wrong with you. Yes. You just want to be out here and run around free when really you should be sleeping. So. Inside voice, please. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you screaming? He's still using his outside voice. Don't hit mommy. That's not nice. I don't know where you get that. Don't do that. You stop. I'm not playing. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, he thinks it's a game. It's not. That's not nice. That's not nice. Your mommy gonna embarrass you on YouTube. Yep. It might not be embarrassing to you now, but it will be embarrassing in about 20 years. When I show it to all your little girlfriends. Okay. Anyway. But yeah, so that's what's going on. So now I'm thinking it might be more around March. That's probably, I guess we'd be looking at end of March. So now we're talking like March, April. And I've even considered that if I don't get started by June, maybe putting it off until next year, which might not be the best idea either. I don't know. Right now I just want to focus on not stressing myself out. Grief has no timeline. And I need to make sure that I'm in a good place stress wise before I get started, and then, give myself time to really get back in it. And, I'll admit it's been really hard to get back into TTC mode. It's really hard to get back into it. Just thinking about taking all the vitamins, all the pills, it makes me weary just thinking about it, So it's just really hard to get back there. And the fact that I haven't been able to get back into it yet, the questions come into your mind. Do I really want it? Do I want it as bad as I wanted it before? Can I go without the try? I do want it. I bought the sperm. So it's waiting for me. As a matter of fact, last month I just paid for 6 months of storage. So I think when I purchased the sperm, because of the pandemic, they were giving away, I think, 6 months storage. Was it 6 months? Yeah, I think 6 months of storage. If you purchase before a certain time. So that 6 months has expired. I have renewed with another 6 months of storage at the crab bank. And I definitely need to figure something out before that storage. I mean, I don't have to, but I don't want it sitting there forever. And I'm just paying for storage. I'm not, like I said, I'm not getting any younger. So I do want to get started with that. No, we're not playing with cords. Oh, look at that. Mommy can see the teeth. Let me see. Scream so mommy can see on the other side. Let mommy see. Is the teeth coming on the other side up there? Since you don't let me look in your mouth. Gotta get it when I can. I can see that other tooth is coming, but I didn't see anything on the left side. So, but he keeps putting a finger up there, so I know something's working on the left side. But how are you all? We've got 11 people on. How are you all? How are you all doing today? Or in this season? Are you all looking forward to the fresh start that a new year brings like I am? I can't wait for the fresh start of 2021. Come here. No. Oh, somebody's unhappy. Is anybody out there? I don't see any. You guys are still there, right? I mean, if not, I mean, you guys keep the live going. So I think I've said all my piece. Get ready for 2021. Yes, I am so ready. Although the last time I said I was ready for the next year, that next year wasn't that great neither. But I'm going to hope and pray that 2021 is a much better year than this one. Hey, Mona. Happy holidays. So, but yep. What are some of your 2021 goals? I'm not really one for like resolutions or anything. One goal would be to get pregnant with baby number. That's not nice. I'm telling you, he bust my lip and everything. Some weeks ago, doing this head button thing. His head is big and it's hard and it hurts. Woosah, y'all. Woosah. But yeah, so I think my main goal for 2021 is probably baby number 2. If it doesn't happen, then that's it for my TTC journey. I'm not gonna try any more. Not by myself anyway. I'd like to, maybe get pregnant with baby number 2 and find love. That would be great. I don't think I have any particular professional goals or anything like that. I just, after this year, I would like a calm year. I feel like it's been 2 years of high stress TTC and then a year of a pleasant pregnancy, but feeling stressed from a financial side of things because I was going to be off during some unpaid time and everything was just sucking up my money. So, and then he got here, the whole money thing worked out, but then we were in a pandemic and then, I lost my niece. So it's just, I'm just looking for just peace in the new year. Just some peace, some calm, and as much stress freeness as I can possibly get. And if I can tack a baby number 2 on top of that and maybe a love interest, that would be great. That would be awesome. So Mona, I was explaining earlier, I guess before you joined, that I have 2 egg retrievals in my future. So I only bought enough sperm to do 2 egg retrievals. Whatever comes out of those 2 egg retrievals, that's all I'm going to try with. Because the fact of the matter is the egg retrievals are the most expensive part. And even though I have insurance cooperation, given the PGS testing and all of that, an egg retrieval is still going to cost me about $10,000 each. So, maybe after I hit my deductible, that comes down to about $7,000. But either way, it's still a lot of money. So, financially, I don't think it's fair. Considering that I am a single mom and I have a baby, I can't justify spending the same amount of money I spent to get baby G. And emotionally, it's a lot to go through, and I think I only got maybe two egg retrievals in me, and the second one will be very conditional upon what happens with the first one, because one of my major fears is what happens if I go through an egg retrieval, because I am older and it was hard enough. At 38, I'm now 2 years older, going on 3 years older. I'll be 3 years older if I start in April. What happens if I get nothing to even PGS test? Do I even bother with a second retrieval after that? It's basically it's a toss up. Will I get anything viable? Will I not? So that's something I would certainly have to pray on. We're doing good. I'm planning my next TTC journey for next summer when my son turns 1. Yep. Hey, Natasha. What? 10,000 would cover? Yeah. So Rachel, so I have, thanks to Baby G, my deductible, my insurance is no longer $1,500. It's now $3,000. So I have to exhaust that before insurance will kick in anything. So that's $3,000 off the bat. Then insurance will kick in for what they will pay for. The medications will be co-pays, which will probably be somewhere around the $400, let's say $500 on the medications. So that's what, $3,500 already. Then you add PGS testing. The biopsy by itself is $2,500. So now we're at $6,000 already. And then there's cryopreservation, which costs about $1,000. So that's $7,000. There's the actual lab cost for the PGS testing, which if I get 3 embryos like before, that cost me another $600. So now we're at $7,600. And we haven't even gotten to a transfer yet. So by the time I get to transfer, the transfer would be paid for by insurance. I've already bought the sperm, so that was like $800. So maybe not 10. I'm just rounding up, but there's still money to pay. Money to pay. Now the second retrieval, obviously a lot cheaper, but I still gotta pay the PGS cost, which is gonna be and probably cryopreservation. So we're looking at $4,000 on the second retrieval. That's with my deductible paid, and then I would still need to pay for medications, co-pays on medications until I hit my out-of-pocket maximum. So we're probably looking at another $500 on that. So $45,000 to $5,000 even on the second retrieval. So, like I said, even with insurance help, and I haven't even tacked on all the additional things that I do when I'm TTCing: acupuncture, chiropractic, all of my supplements. All this stuff costs money. I mean, I don't know if you guys realize at some point I was spending like $300, almost $400 a month on supplements to make things successful. And it's not the medical part, but all of that goes with it, and it all incurs a cost. I did do some calculations on like what I spent to get Baby G. I still have to put that video together so that you understand, like, even with insurance, and my insurance kicked in quite a bit and was quite helpful. Even with insurance, this is still an expensive journey. If I had to say, I'd spent over, sorry, let me get this baby. Where are you going? Get over here. He's trying to escape. I spent well over $30,000 in the 2 years that I was TTCing. And that's including the 1 egg retrieval that I had to pay out of pocket for. So, it's still expensive. Let's see, it's important to be on supplements and that's prior to IVF. Yes, Katia. Yes, I understand. Oh yeah, because of family. I understand. Yeah. Do you? Yes, I do have an HSA. Um, no, I can't get Aflac. My company doesn't offer it. Um, Probably because we have short term disability built into our benefits. We don't have to pay into it. It's just built in for us. But they don't offer Aflac and Aflac. Maybe you used to be able to get it independent, but when I was looking for it before I got pregnant, with baby G, it was not available independently. Like you could only get it through your employer. Maybe that's just a state thing. I don't know, but here in Florida, I could only get it. I was trying to get some additional short-term disability. There are other places aside from Aflac. There, I only found I think two that offered it independently of your employer, and the one I applied for didn't even allow me to apply. Basically, what he told me is as soon as he put my BMI in there, they said no, she's not gonna qualify. Instead of getting a denial on record for me, they just didn't even put in the application. So, how's that for us big girls? Like even if you find independent short-term disability, your BMI will basically get you denied. So, that's essentially what happened. But I do have an HSA, and I am putting money in it, so that will help with the cost. That will help, but it doesn't. It's still a lot of money to spend. It's still a lot, and I will say the money that I spent did help tax wise, as far as like deductions and stuff. But it's a lot of money to spend, and I have him, and I'm by myself, and I'm paying for childcare, and I just can't justify continuing to spend that much money, because now it's money, it's food out of his mouth, and I don't want to go. I have debt. I have student loan debt. I have a mortgage. I have debt from TTC and from him that I'm still trying to pay off. And I don't want to go into too much additional debt. Not that I don't really want another baby. I do. Here, have some water. You don't want the water? Okay, clearly you don't want the water. You want to be set free, but you can't be set free. What you need to do is fall asleep. So I apologize for all his whining, but until we get to sleep, this is what he's going to do. He's really just sleepy, and I have to wear him out. He has to realize that resistance is futile, and he'll get there. So yeah. So I mean, if you're watching this and you're looking to do this, insurance or not, there are very expensive parts to this journey. And I often wonder, how people manage to pay for 7, 8 IVFs and, with insurance help or not. It's just like, where do you get all this money? Maybe it's just me with all the student loan debt that just doesn't have it, Stop. That's not nice. No, you're trying to hurt mommy. We're not going to hurt mommy. I had to put him in a timeout yesterday. You got something in your nose? No, I don't see it anymore. You're really just sleepy, baby. You just need to calm down so you can take your nap. Because it is 3 o'clock and you have not had a nap yet today. You stop. It's 3 o'clock. You should be napped by now. And see, the thing is, he'll go down for a nap and he'll be down for 3 hours, and then he'll want to be up until 11, 12 o'clock at night. But he's rubbing his eyes and he's yawning, so he is for sure sleepy. So sometimes I just have to work him through this fight that he does. Yeah, mommy's talking about you. Oh, look. Oh, look. Mommy can see the teeth over there coming through. Yeah, she can see it. Yeah, it hasn't exactly broken through yet, but it's going to soon. Mommy can see it. Yeah, you just a little irritable. He's also going through a developmental leap right now. And it's funny, I was reading about the developmental leaps, and it said, your baby is craving boundaries and rules. Is he now? Because he doesn't seem to listen to a single thing that I say. So is he really craving boundaries and rules? I don't know. I find that interesting. So, but I guess maybe he is. He's testing the limits. You know what I mean? They're very, very well testing the limits. So, maybe that's what he needs: boundaries and rules. Where mommy says no, enforce the no. Yeah. Oh, Ninja came over here to rub on your feet. Don't kick him. No. No, sir. This is life. You want to be a single mom? This is what you have to look forward to. No one to help. No one to give you a break. I know I'm like incredibly behind in my videos. Like I said, I never really stopped filming for you all. I just lacked the time and or energy to edit them and get them out. But I do have some really good videos. I did kind of a week in the life of a working single mom, one that works from home, because I do work from home regularly, not just because of the pandemic. And I didn't expect it to go the way that it did. But it is a true good, bad, and ugly, for sure, in the week in the life. And, I have some pretty low moments. But this is for real. I don't want to just portray, all the good and happy times and all of that great stuff. There are highs and there are lows on this journey, and I don't want anybody to think because I appear to be doing okay or whatever the case may be, that this is easy. By any means, it's not. And just because I want a baby number 2, that this is easy, it's not. It's not easy. Life happens. Having a baby when life happens makes life that much harder. That's not nice. But baby, the people didn't come here to. But the people didn't come here to hear you scream, baby. They didn't come here for that. You think it's funny? It's not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's night time. Come on, nappy time. It's nappy time? No, you want to get up. Mm-hmm. Hey, Navids. Oh, did we give birth the same day? Are you going through what I'm going through right now? You see this? This defiance? Quite literally, y'all. If I put him in a stroller and took him outside, he would be asleep in 2 seconds. Or if I put him in a car and took him somewhere, he would totally be asleep. I'm tired because I haven't had a nap and I'm being feisty. So come on. Yeah, close those eyes. You're fighting it. No, resistance is futile, young man. Nope. Hey, lady. How have you been? How have you been handling motherhood? My daughter just had the tantrum an hour ago, so I get it. Yeah, yeah. So I'm telling you, and it's crazy. It's like, why do babies this small even know what a tantrum is? Like, why are they throwing tantrums? Where did they get this from? I don't know. It's like all of a sudden he just started throwing these fall out, knock down, scream, and fling himself everywhere tantrums. And it's just like, where did he learn this? All of a sudden he just started throwing his body everywhere. And I mean, it drives me crazy because when he's in his bassinet, that's the other thing I was supposed to be doing this week that I haven't done, and that is sleep train in his crib upstairs. So, um, just that quick, y'all. His eyes are shut. I'm telling you. I call him a Sour Patch Kid. You know the commercials? First they're sour and then they're sweet. That's him. That's his nickname, Sour Patch Kid. Because he could be a whole terror, and then he wants to hug you and love on you and kiss you and all of that. Total Sour Patch Kid. But just like that, he is out. Sleepy. Sleepy. Anyway, now that we have some peace and quiet. um yeah. I guess it's been an hour. We've been live for about an hour now. So, like I said, I didn't intend to come on for very long. Um, it's a shame we had to fight through all his screaming and stuff. I apologize for that. I hoped that he would have napped earlier so I could have done this. See, look at that. I'm sorry, I just got an alert on my phone that Florida has reported over 13,000 new cases of the pandemic in one day for yesterday. And then the day before that, it was 11,000. And then I think 2 days last week, it was over 13,000, 2 days in a row. So, yay, Florida. I'm not going to get into the politics and what's going on down here and a greedy governor or anything like that. But this is why we stay in the house. This is why we stay in the house. I think I might have mentioned, I don't know. I know I filmed through it, but there was a COVID scare at his daycare. Everybody was fine. I think one of the other kids' parents, bosses tested positive, and so her and her husband tested negative, but they kept the babies home and all of that. Everybody else tested negative. I tested negative. Baby G tested negative. So everything's good, but this is just one of those years, y'all. Just one of those years. It's just kind of like one of those things that was going on. He had his birthday, and then he had this fever that came out of nowhere, and then it was the COVID scare. And then right on top of that was my niece. So it was just kind of all these stressful things that happened at once. Um, but, hopefully, um, everybody is staying healthy, staying safe, wearing your mask, socially distancing, and doing what you're supposed to do to keep you and your family safe. We certainly are doing our parts. I have no problems being a hermit. So, I'm here in my bubble in the house. But, the bubble gets broken every time he goes to daycare. I do have one mom friend that I hang out with, and her and her household have been tested quite a few times. So we feel safe with each other, and she's pregnant now, so she's being extra careful as well. So it's just a lot, and We're just trying our best to go through it. So, unless you ladies and gents, if you're watching, have any additional questions, um, I will bid you all adieu until New Year's. I'm still trying to get my hands on some firewood because for my New Year's live, I like to burn the fireplace. I would like to burn the fireplace tomorrow since the weather's been a little low. It's going to go down into like the 30s. High 30s tonight, and I think it's going to be cold tomorrow night as well. So right now it's in Florida and my heat is on. So um, I do want to burn some wood tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to. I have a fake log that I can burn tomorrow if I don't have any firewood, but I'm trying to figure out how I can get some firewood without dragging my baby into the store with me. I might have to Instacart it or something. Um, I'll have to see. I'll have to see. But it's always great talking to you all. Thanks for coming in and spending a little time with me. I do see some new people join the live. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks. You take care as well. I know. I should have asked you when did you plan to do another cycle? I know you're taking the supplements. We missed your channel, Rachel. It disappeared on us. We'd like to see some updates up there. You gotta come on and give us an update. Starting in May. Okay, okay. All right. Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be pretty interesting though. For me. Have a Merry Christmas. Yes. I know, Rachel. It's hard to keep up, right? It's just so hard to keep up. That's why I tell people. I tell people all the time. The work that goes into editing the videos that you see. Like, give your favorite YouTubers a little bit of a break. They put in a lot of work to push these videos out for you. It's one thing to sit and record a video. It is another to edit, and it takes twice as long, if not three times as long, to edit a video than it does to record it initially. So there's a lot of time that goes into maintaining these channels. And I know you all like content and all of that, but just, give your favorite YouTubers a bit of a break. It is a lot of work. It is definitely a lot of work. It takes time. It really does take time. And I'm actually slightly getting harassed because I had a sponsored video that I had filmed. I just haven't had time to edit it, and I'm gonna have to get that out here. And that was for the period panties. So I will have to get that out soon. But as you can see, full hands, full life. But I'm gonna see what I can edit and kind of push out before I get back to work, and hopefully I can catch up. Okay, California Republic, for those of us who want to be bothered with vaccines. Thanks. At any rate, I'll cut it off here because we're at the hour mark. Have a great day. Sticky baby, that's to all those still out there in TTCing, whether it's for baby number one or baby number more than one. Hey, Boston girl. Hey. I know, it's okay. I was all impromptu and stuff. Need to know how to um get them sponsor vids. Well, they reached out to me. I think once you hit a certain amount of subscribers, folks just kind of seek you out, and then you get to decide what you want to do or not. There have been quite a few things that I've casually turned down because they didn't make sense for me, or I just didn't agree with the product, or the product wasn't something that I could actually try at the time because I was pregnant or because I was breastfeeding or something like that. Oh, is there a website? Okay, Boston Girl. I didn't know. I guess you could sign up. I guess for people. I don't know. I haven't looked. I just had a few people reach out. People look for your amount of subscribers. Yeah. Yep. So I think once you hit a certain amount, like maybe somewhere around the 800 mark, you'll start to, you know, get people. Because, I mean, these companies have people, have whole departments that are in charge of this, to get the word out for their products and stuff. So they'll find you, whether that be on Instagram or on YouTube, they find you. Yeah. Yeah. In my case, in this sponsor video, they sent me the product to try for free. Um, to do a review for them. So, and I've got a review on something that's not sponsored. It's just something I decided to buy. So I got that too. I probably should finish filming that review. I should probably finish filming the review. But yeah. So, I like to watch him sleep. But yeah, so I've got a lot of content for you guys. I just have to get some time to really get it together. But yeah, I just Googled this there. Okay, there are more than one. Okay. Yeah. Or you could also, Rachel, if it's something that you use and you love, maybe see if you can become an affiliate with that company and then, kind of use your links if it's really something that you want to suggest for your subscribers. So that's another way as well. Yeah. And what your YouTube channel is about. Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yep, hi Ninja. Yeah. Hey Boston girl. I am doing okay. You came in late, so you missed the baby fussing. Being incredibly fussy because he was sleepy. Um, but I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm not getting a whole lot of sleep. I will say I keep having some crazy dreams. Um, they're very adult and they involve an ex. And why I keep dreaming about this ex, uh, you see, I see that cat is right there. He loves you. Yeah, well, Boston girl, I got three of them around here. This one, he just came out the litter box, so he was just walking by. Oh, all right, Rachel, get some rest. Get some rest. But yeah, so I keep having these crazy, very adult dreams about an ex of mine. Not quite sure why this particular ex, why these particular dreams, but crazy. Yes, thank you, Boston girl. That's what I was. That's what I was just saying. I think I can't remember. You know what? One thing that's happening they don't tell you about being a mom, your brain like completely turns to mush and marshmallow. I cannot find words to save my life. I can't remember things to save my life. It's very difficult for me when I'm working and I'm searching for a word that I want to use. Other words come to mind, but they are not the word that I want to use. And I'm just like, and I can describe the word that I want to use, but I can't get that word to pop into my head in order for me to say it unless I keep thinking about it for at least a good 3 minutes. And then it comes to my head. That's if somebody doesn't say it first. So I have to constantly apologize for my mommy brain. But it's crazy. So I say all that to say is someone did ask earlier about what my 2021 goals were. And aside from baby number two, I'm really just looking for peace and calmness in 2021. Peace and calmness. I just want a, and you said it best, non-eventful. I need a non-eventful 2021. As far as like stress, I need low stress, peace, calmness. That's what I want the most of for next year. So, um, so yeah, yeah, yeah. But I will be back on here for the traditional. I don't know if I'm gonna make it 3 hours this year. Yes, we do. Yes, we do, Boston girl. I don't know if I want to make it 3.5 hours this year for New Year's, but I do plan to be back on for New Year's at 11:30 Eastern time, so that we can bring in the New Year on the East Coast, and then bring it on down the line all the way to Pacific time at 3 in the morning, and that's when I usually tap out. Do I think he's looking more like you? No. I think so many people say he's like my twin, my twin, my twin. I don't think he particularly looks like me. I do think he has a lot of my features, though. I think he has my eyes. I think he has my nose. Um, I think he has my lips. I think he has the donor's ears. But I think he has a lot of my features, but that doesn't necessarily make him look like me. But I don't think anybody looks like me, even my own family. So maybe I'm just jaded that way. Hey, Arlette. Yes, you're late to the party. I keep trying to I keep trying to sign off. But everybody's joining now. This is what I get for having an impromptu live. Um but yeah, so I'm happy to answer the questions because baby G is asleep now, right? And you know, your questions keep the live going. So if you have more questions, I'm happy to answer them. I don't have anywhere to go or anything to do. Have I had lunch? I haven't had lunch yet. I guess at some point I gotta eat, but that's pretty much that. For those latecomers, I've already gone through like my plans for baby number two. I probably won't start until about April. And I've kind of given a little synopsis as to kind of where I am emotionally. 2020, throw the whole year away. No offense to those who had great things happen this year, but for me, I can't think of anything great other than Baby G turning one. Throw the whole year away. I may be starting around that time, maybe. Okay, yeah, cause I'm behind in my supplement use. And I will say I've not been taking very good care of myself. In addition to not really taking supplements, I've also not been taking my own medications, which is not good. But in times of crisis, when I'm taking care of everyone else, I tend to not take very good care of myself. So I'm trying to get better at that. I have got my counselor involved. I've been seeing this counselor for like 10 years. And I was overdue for seeing her. I did get a visit in with her. Um, I know I need to take my medications, but it's just be so much going on, and I get busy in that tunnel vision, and it's just really hard. I can be better about it. I have all the intentions of being better about it, and the day goes on, things get busy, and before I know it, I haven't taken the morning meds. And then when the evening comes, I'm tired or I'm dealing with the baby. And by the time I get him settled, I'm too tired to get up and take the evening meds. So I end up not taking any meds at all. And it's not like I'm eating the best diet that, would help contribute to me not needing to take the medication. So that doesn't help either. Oh, I'm just a mess. I'm just a mess, y'all. Like, quite frankly, Baby G had a doctor's appointment the other day. I didn't even have any idea what the doctor's appointment was for. It was on the calendar book, and I just showed up. That was the kind of day it was. I just showed up, and they said, "Oh, he's getting vaccines." Oh, is that what this is for? Okay, great. He got his vaccines. I left the baby bag home. Of course, he had peed all on his outfit and everything. Fortunately, there was a spare outfit at the sitter, which is where he was going next. But I didn't even have a spare diaper. I gotta put like some spare diapers and a spare outfit like in the car and just like leave it in the car for times like that when I leave the baby bag home. We need you around for the long haul for baby G. You need to take them. I know. I know. I know. Hey, Miss Sassy Scorpio. Hey, love your channel. Excited to start my journey. My GYN is pressuring me to be pregnant by the summer. Oh, can why by the summer? Did you encounter that on your journey? I planned on waiting 3 more years. How old are you, Miss Sassy Scorpio? If you don't mind me asking. Oh, Boston girl beat me to it. 36. Yeah, yeah. There's pressure now. You're over 35. You're over the hump, honey. Now any pregnancy that you do now is now going to be considered geriatric, elderly, any other term for the word old. um, so yeah, there's going to be pressure, you know. So, I'm telling you, my notes had. I was expecting to see geriatric. Oh, and I should also add high risk. Okay, now you are officially high risk based on your age as well. So, but they say 35, you could go over the cliff at any time. And this is just your GYN. I don't know what kind of blood work they've done on you. Um, but if nothing else, you want to wait 3 years, at least get the blood work done. Maybe consult a fertility specialist, get your fertility blood work done so you can see where you are right now. You might not have 3 years to wait. So at the very least, just get the workup done. Yeah. Get the workup done, see what your numbers are, but yeah, yeah, at the very least, especially if you want to wait and you want children, get the workup done and see where you are, cuz I'm going to tell you, when I was TTCing for baby G, I had not gotten pregnant yet. And I was waiting to do the transfer that eventually led to him. I went to a party of a friend of mine. She is also a single mother by choice, but she chose the adoption route. She didn't have any interest in carrying a baby, so she went the adoption route. And we held a baby shower for her, but she's a physician. She is a I'm gonna say she's a cardiologist, and so she has a lot of doctor friends who were at this party. And one of her friends was not a doctor; she was actually a lawyer, and I think she was 40. I'm trying to think. That was about 30. She might have been 40, 41, 42. And she was saying, "Oh, women are having babies up until they're 50. I'm gonna take my time." And one of the women who were at this party is actually an RE. And she was actually the second opinion RE that I went to, because my friend kept trying to suggest her to me on my journey. Is there any reason you don't want to start? I agree, at least know how things look now. Yeah. Happy holidays. Hey, 8-Bit Breeze. No, she adopted the baby. It was a newborn. So she was able to get paired up with a pregnant mom, and she was able to get the baby right after birth. Who was she? Janet Jackson. Oh, the 50-year-old. Listen, we've had that talk because one of the women is an RE. Another one of the women who were there is actually a GYN. And she said all her moms over 35 that talk, or all her women who are over 35 talking about babies, she sends them right to an RE and says you need to get on it now. Like she don't even have the discussion herself. Like at 35, if you definitely know you want to have children and you're not sure if you should wait or not, get the workup done because you have no idea where you are hormonally. And everybody is different. You got 22, 24-year olds out here with low ovarian reserve. And if you have no idea where you stand with that before deciding to wait much longer, you should at least get the workup done. I believe Janet definitely had a donor egg for sure, for sure. I was living my life and traveling. I'm currently completing the doctorate program and didn't have a partner, mostly because I was living and waiting for a partner. Yeah, yeah. You're on the cusp, Miss Sassy. You're on the cusp, and I also know women, just at 30 years old that have low ovarian reserve as well. So if you don't know where you are, get the workup done. Just get it done and figure out where you are. Your numbers may already be declining. And then even after, if your numbers are good this year, they may not be good next year. So get the workup done. I would get the workup done every single year you choose to wait. Like if you don't get it done this year, then next year get the workup done again to make sure that you don't run into a rapid decline. It's blood work, and your insurance should cover it. But congratulations on the doctorate though. That's tight work right there. How close? Yeah, my GYN never mentioned seeing the RE. Yeah, actually, you don't have to pay the specialist like copay or whatever it is to go see an RE. Um, your GYN could run the blood work herself. She may not know what to look for. So I would say, and Arlette, Boston Girl, anyone else on here, if we had to give a list of what blood work should be run, I would say for sure you want to have her look at your vitamin D, your DHEA. She needs to be looking at your thyroid. She needs to be looking at your um, your A1C for sure. FSH, AMH, yes. Um, I'm trying to think what else. Did I miss anything as far as FSH will change? AMH is good. HP. Yeah, testosterone. Yep. So definitely your T4, your whatever TSH, your thyroid hormone. Definitely want to look at that. FSH and AMH are going to be kind of where you are, but you kind of need both numbers to know. FSH is going to tell you how hard your body is working to ovulate. AMH is usually a gauge as to really how many eggs you might have left. But AMH can change. FSH will fluctuate every month, but it's a good gauge. You want to check if your tubes are open. Yeah, so if you're gonna try and, well, I don't know that it really matters now, if the tubes are open or not, unless you have a partner and you're thinking about trying naturally, Boston Girl, because, um, you know, I would say if you're thinking about maybe doing like an IUI or something like that, that's actually something your GYN could do in the office. You don't necessarily have to go to a RE. You're definitely going to want to make sure your tubes are open before you do an IUI, before you try naturally. So that's going to be the HSG test. Now that is not blood work, and it has been painful for some women, and it's radiology because you do that in the X-ray room. Um, she started. Everyone starts with IUI. Not everyone. Not everyone. Some people move straight to IVF depending on, what insurance will allow you to do, or if you're paying out of pocket. Some people go straight to IVF, or if you're determined to have low ovarian reserve, your doctor can diagnose you as infertile right away just based on your blood work, and you can move straight to IVF instead of going to IUI in most cases. But that is going to be insurance determination if you're looking to have insurance. So, mm-hmm. Yeah, the HSG, that's going to determine if your tubes are open. But if you're not trying naturally, if you're going to be a single mom by choice, the HSG would only help if you were planning to go with the IUI. So, but yep, yes, don't wait. I had my first at 40, and I'm hopefully can have start again next, which will be have me delivering around 42 or 43. Yep, it's a ways to do an IUI if your tubes are open. Absolutely. And you need to do the blood work on day 3 of your cycle. Yep. Yep. And it would also be good if she could get day 21 progesterone, which would mean a second poke for blood um 7 days after you ovulate. And that's going to require you to track your ovulation, not just use an app that's guessing. So that would be nice. Not just the 21st day of your cycle, but actually 7 days after you ovulate. But it is called day 21 progesterone on the blood work sheet. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. And the other thing about HSG, if you're ready to get started with IUI, and HSG can make you a little bit more fertile for the next few months after. I think it's like the next 3 or 4 months after. Something about the fluid that they use makes your lining a little bit more sticky or whatever. A lot of or if your tubes were not clear, sometimes the procedure itself can clear it and can help you get pregnant relatively quickly after. So that's another reason to save the HSG until when you're ready to get started. My cousin went straight to IVF because tubes were closed. They tried to clear them. They closed right back up. So only choice was, yep, was IVF. GYN isn't going to be all knowing like a RE, and you need to know what your insurance covers. That's where all the choices come, what they pay for and what you can afford. Y'all are awesome. I was lost after she gave me the deadline. We're a community, Miss Sassy. We are a community. There is a ton of information out here, and we are happy to help and happy to share. That's what we're here for. That's why we're on YouTube. That's why we're on Instagram. If you have the questions, ask. Ask. You know, um, there are message boards. There are Facebook groups. That you could join. There's just so much information out here. You know, I don't know if there's a single mind by choice Facebook group. There's a Mocha SMC Facebook group as well. Ask what you need to know. We are women of color. Branch of SMC. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So it's there's so much out here, and to be quite honest, if it wasn't for other women sharing their journeys, I might not have my baby today. My doctor didn't check for vitamin D. You know what I'm saying? I learned that by watching other women, and I asked him to run the blood work when my first IVF transfer failed. I only had 2 embryos to transfer. When the first one failed, my doctor looked at me, shrugged his shoulders, and said, "We did everything that we could do. Sometimes it just doesn't work." And I told him, "Oh, there's something else we can do." And he said, "What's that?" I said, "I want you to run some blood work." He said, "Oh yeah, what do you think we should run?" And I ran him down a whole laundry list of blood work things that he hadn't checked before, things that he did check before and that were overdue and could be checked again. He added a few additional things. 21 vials of blood later, I found out that not only was my vitamin D in the toilet, which probably affected my level of success with my egg retrievals, but could have also contributed to my failed transfer. I also found out that, yeah, the important part though, Boston Girl TV, is that he was willing to hear what I had to say and was open to doing it. Not all doctors are that open. Not all doctors are that open. And vitamin D is one of those new things where it's not officially deemed as something that should be checked, but a lot of the newer clinics who are up on the times and the latest research, um, you know, they tend to check vitamin D, but he never checked my vitamin D. So I had him check that. And in 2 years, he had never checked my vitamin D. I also found out that I had the gene mutation. I can't even think of it now. MTS. Help me out. I had the gene mutation and that I needed to be taking the methylated folate. I did not know that 40% of the population has that gene mutation. A lot of women don't know. So if when you do start, you probably want to make sure you're taking a methylated folate instead of regular folic acid, unless you have that test done. Um, and the tests aren't everything. I got pregnant, and all of my test scores were trash. Yeah, I'm the oldest of the group. I'm 45, and my daughter is 6. Yeah, so I mean, it's just there is so much out here to learn. I mean, to be quite honest, I became very obsessed with TTC, and I watched everybody, and I mean every video. I think I came in Arlette's journey. She was about a year and a half in. Watched all her videos from the beginning. Boston Girl already had her baby, and I watched all of her videos beginning from the beginning. That's just kind of how I am. I don't like to get in on series, on part 4 or part 3. I want all the character introduction, right? So I need to start from the beginning and get the story and see how these things go. And I learned about doing the my gosh, I'm really, this mommy brain is so serious. I'm pulling a blank on everything. The test to see your that your body is ready for implantation. I can't even think of that test now. Arlette, you had that, the ERA. Thank you. I learned that from watching Arlette and a few other ladies, and I forced my RE to do that test um, on me before I had any failures, because I only had 2 embryos. There was not room for me to fail 3 times before he then suggested this test. And I have helped other women get pregnant by suggesting this test. I have a friend of mine, I met her in a cryobank group, and when I was TTCing, she was also TTCing. I think she did 3 IUIs, and they all failed. And then she did one. She said she couldn't afford IVF. Managed to be able to afford one IVF. I think she got pregnant, maybe miscarried, something like that. But then I asked her if she had an ERA test. She didn't even know what it was. But she was also in Puerto Rico, and the doctors there are not that familiar with the ERA test. So I told her what lab my test went to, and she was able to get the lab kit. All they had to do was collect the sample and send it off to the lab back here in the States. And come to find out, she needed some extra progesterone, and she has her baby today. If it wasn't for me, asking her if she had that test done, and whether it would be successful for her. So I'm a believer. The fact of the matter is, a lot of these doctors don't suggest certain things until you hit a certain point. Like ERA is not something they suggest to you until you've had at least 3 failures. 3 failures. So I had 2 embryos. I didn't have room to have 3 failures before you suggested an ERA. And my doctor tried to talk me out of it. I said, listen, it's my money. I don't see what the big deal is. All you got to do is take the sample and send it in. Insurance is not going to pay for it. I'll pay for it myself, no problem. I'd rather take the test and find out I didn't need it than not take the test, fail, wasting my money and my opportunities, and then find out that I needed the test. So, education, like there is no power like education, right? And one of the things that I believe, a lot of women go through, especially IVF, a lot of women go through TTC completely blind and just doing everything the doctor tells them to do. They don't know what else could be done. They're not understanding the process, what's happening, what should be happening, what's not happening. They don't understand what the numbers mean. They're not asking the doctors questions because they're scared to. You can't be afraid. This is way too expensive of a process. Expensive financially, expensive physically, expensive emotionally. It's way too expensive to go through this process not knowing anything and just following blindly. The doctors are not gods. They are human and they make mistakes. As a matter of fact, I might not have my baby today had I not been checking after my doctor when he told me to show up for my transfer. He was off by a day. And had I not corrected his timing in his schedule, had I not known that it's supposed to be 5 days of progesterone before you do a transfer, had I not known that, he would have been doing my transfer on day 4 and I might not have my baby today. So education is key. Nobody can ever take your education away from you. You have to educate and advocate. 2 Kates that I would highly, highly recommend in this process is educate and advocate. Yep. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome. I took the test at 35. They were all bad, and I had my baby at 39. Yep. Hold on. I gotta scroll up. I missed a little bit in here. Same for me. You and Simply Tamikia have helped me so much. If it wasn't for the info you both gave, I probably wouldn't have my rainbow baby. Oh, thank you, Natasha. Yeah. There is so much out here, and everybody is different. And that's also one thing, don't necessarily take what we say as, gold or Bible and just all of a sudden start doing it. A lot of what we do is catered to what's going on to our bodies and what our bodies need. I see a lot of women, especially older women, just automatically just start taking DHEA. DHEA is one of those supplements that you really should not take unless you know that you have a deficiency in that hormone, because otherwise it will hurt you better than it will help you. So you have to be clear. Also, a lot of the supplements may have interactions with other medications that you may be taking, so you want to make sure that you don't have any contraindications to any of the other supplements. That's also one of the reasons why I was not taking what's that one supplement that helps people sleep, that some women swear by in the TTC community. My mommy brain is keeping me from remembering it again. Melatonin, yes. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't take it. Like, if you do research on melatonin, some places will tell you it's great for TTC. Other places will tell you it's not so great for TTC, as far as like your ovulation and stuff. But melatonin is one of those things I stayed away from because it had interactions with my blood pressure medicine. So I stayed away from it. So I can't tell you whether you should take it or whether you shouldn't. I just knew that it had interactions, and so I stayed away from it. So we're all going to tell you something different based on what's going on with our bodies, what we've experienced, what we're taking, what research we've done. I've tried my best to, give what information that I found in my research, but also I'm not a medical professional. I'm not here to prescribe any medications or to tell you what you should take or what you shouldn't take. You should always, clear things with your doctor. I'm also one of those bad patients. I don't always clear everything I do with the doctor either. So I have taken things without telling my doctor what I'm doing, only because, it's my body and I'll do what I want with it. But it doesn't make me right all the time. But it's just you want to make sure that above all else, you are educated about what you're doing and why you're doing it. You're not just doing it because people swear by it. You want to take something because you know what it does and you feel you need that. So I take a whole laundry list of supplements, when I'm going. And when I tell people who are not taking a bunch of supplements, I have a top tier that I would suggest, but I also tell people to do their research on it because maybe they feel like they need it, maybe they feel like they don't. Everyone is different, but I thank you all for informing me and the blood work and testing that should be done. Absolutely. Remember you did a home and yeah, I did too. Remember the first one? I think I spilled the sperm out before I got it in there. That yeah, it's illegal in some states, right? To do a home insemination. Yep, you can't even get the sperm delivered to your home. I don't think. Um, in some states, so yeah, you can't do everything everybody does. You got to make sure you do. You want to get yourself in trouble. You know, don't get yourself in trouble. Don't hurt yourself trying to help yourself. You really need to, know what you're doing with these supplements. What can hurt you, what can help you. And none of us are medical professionals. We're not REs. Um, Although I will say that there are REs like mine who didn't believe in supplements, who didn't believe that you could increase the quality of eggs. The quality of your egg is just the quality of your egg. Now, I'm not saying that I was 38 years old trying to get 20-year-old eggs, but I was hoping maybe I could get maybe 35-year-old eggs with the supplements. Something. There are studies that say you can increase the quality. I'm not saying that you can dramatically increase, but you can increase the quality over time with supplements that you take. The more you take it, the better. To get the maximum, you need at least 3 months. Although I do feel like every little bit helps. So don't think if you're under 3 months that you should just not take supplements that might help you. And then also not all supplements are created equal. You might be, hey, Simply Tanika, hey, Merry Christmas Eve. You might, be looking to take the cheapest supplement out there, and that might not be the best. So you definitely want to make sure you're getting, a good brand of supplements as well. Some states have a mandate to cover fertility. Massachusetts has a mandate. Your insurance has to cover it. That's good. That's good. Yep. And I'm in Florida. Florida is not one of those states that have a mandate, but my employer is based out of Chicago, Illinois, and Illinois is one of those states that has a mandate, and so my insurance covers IVF. So there's that too. So you don't necessarily have to live in a state, but if your company is headquartered in a state that mandates, then your insurance may also cover fertility. And then every state has a different mandate. I know in Illinois, I think the mandate in Illinois is four IVFs in a lifetime. And I think it's four IVF retrievals in a lifetime. If you manage to bring home a baby within those four, they'll give you two more for a sibling. So you can get a total of six, but you got to bring a baby home within the first four to get the other two. Yep. Yep, Boston girl, that too. Like, get the blood work done, even if you're not ready for the baby now. Maybe have the egg retrieval if you got the money to do it. to save your eggs, and then you can wait your 3 years to do the transfer. But the only thing about that is at 36, they're not necessarily going to recommend that you freeze your eggs unfertilized. So you may still have to pick out a donor. Unfertilized eggs freeze better than unfertilized eggs. The technology was not great back in the day. It is better now, but again, you're 36 already, and I know definitely at 38, nobody's looking to freeze unfertilized 38-year-old eggs, right? So just freezing the eggs themselves. I mean, this is something you can talk about with your doctor and what they suggest based on your numbers, but also something to think about. You might need to pick a donor now and maybe fertilize some or all of the eggs if you decide to take them out now. Yeah. You don't necessarily have to fertilize all of them, depending on how many that they get. You can choose to fertilize some, so that you have some choices when you decide to use them if you're not looking to get pregnant right now. Do your research on your RE. Yep. Some are looking at stats, not caring about the patient. Don't want to work with someone who won't increase their stats. Absolutely. My RE forced me to. He was fine doing IUI on me at 270 pounds, right? But when we were moving on to IVF, he refused to do IVF while my BMI was over 40, and he didn't even really want to do it then with my BMI at 40, because women with higher BMIs are, the medications are less likely to work on us. That was not the case for me. I responded very well to the medications. Once we went through the first IVF cycle, he could have cared less about my weight. It didn't bother him, but he had every excuse in the book as to why he couldn't and wouldn't, and forced me to lose 35 pounds before he would even get me started with IVF. Don't even get me started there. So I understand maybe it was a blessing in disguise. I needed to lose the weight anyway. But there are doctors out there who would have worked with me at 270 pounds. I've been in groups where women who had BMIs over 47 and were able to go through IVF successfully and give birth to healthy babies and have healthy pregnancies. So I'm not saying that that's everybody's story. The statistics are what they are. You can't really deny them. High risk is high risk. Everybody is going to look at you funny because you're older. I don't know what your BMI is, but if you have a higher BMI and anybody thinks you're obese in any kind of way, um, you know, there's that too. So for me, it's the anesthesiologist. They have the BMI requirements. Yep. I've been looking into other places in my area. Some have the same other requirements. Some don't. Yeah. So that was one of the excuses that my RE gave. Basically saying that the anesthesiologist would not approve of doing the procedure, because my BMI was too high. Even at 40, when he agreed to work with me at the BMI at 40, he still was using the anesthesiologist as an excuse. The anesthesiologist came in, asked me a few questions. He was perfectly fine with doing the procedure. But the thing about that is, these procedures are done in outpatient facilities, and they cannot intubate you in the event something happens on the table. So if something happens on the table, they're literally calling an ambulance and sending you to the nearest emergency room. So here in Florida, I actually found an article. Um, well, I asked my Simply Tanika. I actually asked my RE if he would work with me if my BMI was under 40, and I based that off of Arlette's guidelines, because Arlette, I believe your RE was 40 for the retrieval. For transfers, they would take you up to 44. I think, even though there's no anesthesia for retrievals. So I based the BMI requirement, knowing what I needed to do to get there, off of that, because my doctor didn't have any particular, he didn't have any like printed or definite like requirements for BMI. So I I based mine off of that. He said he would feel more comfortable working with somebody with a BMI under 40. And then when I got to 40, he then said the anesthesiologist may still not work with me. And then I also told him that in other countries, the women don't go under anesthesia at all. So what about that? And he said, well, I've done it before. It's not my favorite thing to do, but if the anesthesiologist won't do it, you could opt to have your egg retrieval done with local anesthesia, um, instead of general. So that's another option as well. If you're overweight, there are other countries that don't put people completely under, regardless of what their BMI is. That's just not what they do in that country. So it's been done. It has been done. It can be done. It then becomes a matter of preference for that doctor. But at the end of the day, I was able to go under just fine. But that's really what it is. It's just they don't want something bad to happen, and then they can't react. They can't intubate you. They can't do anything. If they're in an outpatient facility. That's based in hospitals. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. My doctor, he just didn't want to do it. And I think, you know, it was going to affect his results. But to be quite honest, he was not reporting his stats to SART under his clinic name. So if you were to go to the SART, the SART website, you would not find his individual clinic. But the clinic that he was using to do the procedures, that clinic is on SART. So I don't know if his outcomes kind of go under that clinic or if his outcomes don't go anywhere. So I don't know why he was just so full of excuses. I mean, he went in so far to tell me that my BMI was too high, gave me this story about a patient who he did manage to get pregnant that had a high BMI like mine, who gave birth to her baby, had a stroke, died, left her baby here, and all of that. He said, so you sure you still want to go through with it? Um, I feel very sorry for that woman and her story, but her story is not my story. So yes, I still want to move forward, and I have my baby today, because of that. So he was trying to scare me off, and it's just like, why? I'm not getting any younger here. Let's see. Since I'm doing donor egg, I won't have the retrieval. The MFM recommends losing weight to lower my BMI, but it's not mandating it before transfer. Yeah, because you don't have to go under any anesthesia, Tanika. So, but the lower BMI has a better outcome with the success of the transfer. I'll put it that way. Statistically, one RA in Florida wouldn't work with me because my BMI was over 35. Wow. I ended up going to New York for the retrieval. That's crazy. Where in Florida, Jennifer, if you don't mind me asking? Because that's crazy. 35. I can't even tell you how much weight I got to lose to get my BMI under 35. I would probably have to lose well over 100 pounds. Yeah. I mean, they'll tell you the ideal BMI is like what, between 22 and 25, something like that, or under 25 is the ideal BMI for these procedures. 32 is not horrible. I'm high risk. I have to take my blood pressure daily even after losing weight. Yeah, Tanika, when I was pregnant, I had to keep a blood pressure log as well as a glucose log. But I already had the insulin resistance prior to getting pregnant, and as soon as I got pregnant, you know, I went on insulin. But yeah, don't be surprised at the blood pressure log, because I had to do that my entire pregnancy. I don't know if I talked about that very much during my pregnancy, but yeah. Jiwa encourages me to lose weight, but I told her we have to remain realistic. Yeah, I mean, what you have to understand is a weight loss journey on top of a TTC journey is just more stress. At the end of the day, if you're trying to make a baby, you need as less stress as you possibly can. You know, the doctors are always going to be on you about your weight. That's not going to end. It's not going to end with trying to get pregnant. It's not going to end once you get pregnant. Like, they're always going to be on you about your weight. Um, but it's not to say that you can't successfully get pregnant with a higher weight, a weight higher than what's ideal, right? So don't let that be your deterrent, and try not to let, like, you can work on your weight, of course, but try not to let it be a stressor, because the stress will wreak more havoc in your journey than the weight ever will. I have multiple locations in South Florida, but I went, oh, okay, in Jupiter. Wow, that's crazy. These BMI numbers are all calculated risks. You can be high and have no issues, and be lower and have issues. Absolutely. Everything could be perfect and you don't get pregnant. Absolutely. What if, what if anything, would you do differently for your next retrieval? For me, um, the main thing that would be different for this retrieval, Tanika, would be my vitamin D levels. My vitamin D was in the toilet for both my egg retrievals because my doctor never checked it. And then my vitamin D didn't get checked until after my first failed transfer. So I'm hoping that my vitamin D levels at the ideal place will make the difference, considering I'm older this time around. Um, my BMI was under 40 for at least my first retrieval. I was probably close to 40 for the second retrieval. I'd like to get back there before my next retrieval. Um, maybe the weight loss helped in how well I responded to the medication. So I'm going to hope and pray there. But, stress also takes its toll as well. So I'm hoping I can be a bit less stressed. With my last retrievals, I was 1 year into the TTC journey and stressed out about it. This go round, I'm not as stressed out with the journey. So I'm hoping less stress, um, better vitamin D levels, and hopefully I can get my weight back down to where I was before that transfer. So that's what I'd like to do. But the only difference there would be probably the stress level and vitamin D. I'm still going to do acupuncture, although I will have a different acupuncturist this time around, um, because my acupuncturist has moved to Tampa. She does come into Orlando. As a matter of fact, she'll be here Saturday, so she makes house calls. So but she doesn't come every week. So I'm gonna need an acupuncturist to go to every week for the next TTC journey. And I need to get on that too, because I want to be doing that for 3 months prior to my retrieval as well, making sure all my blood flow and everything is all open and flowing for that process. I'll, be taking, supplements. I'll probably be taking all the supplements that I was taking by the time I ended up getting pregnant. So that'll be different too, because oops, I started adding on supplements. Um, with each failure, I started adding on things to take. And so by the time I got to my egg retrievals, I had not been taking my supplements for very long. I do think that they helped, um, as I did have some better looking embryos by my second transfer. My second retrieval. Um, But again, my retrievals were like maybe a month or 2 months apart. So I wasn't on the supplements for very long. So that would be different as well. We will have to do a supplement video. I have one that I did the Thanksgiving before I got pregnant. I can find that video and put it in a comment. Matter of fact, maybe I can find it here and I can put it in chat. That's correct. Baby G was from my first retrieval. She was my 4BB. That is correct. Let's see. I can find that video for you, Arlette. Because in that video, not only did do I have any? No, nope. I have no more, no eggs, no embryos. I have to start completely over from scratch this next go round. I may have missed it. You decide on a new donor? Nope. I'll be using the same donor. I already have the sperm in the freezer in storage waiting. And I just paid, I think because of the pandemic, if you bought sperm, they were giving us 6 months of free storage. That has since expired, and I've just re-upped the six months of new storage. So, because I didn't want to stress myself out trying to get started within 3 months, which would be like early next year. So now that gives me a little bit of time to get started and really get in with the new RE, because I'll essentially have a new RE this go round. Let me get that video for y'all. Made a way to be here. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And I was all ready to implant him, and my RE said, I think you should do another retrieval. And so I did the second retrieval, which I ultimately had to pay out of pocket for because he didn't get the paperwork right. But it was all very, very stressful. Will you do screening? Yep, I'll still do, because they're my eggs. You know, I'm an old lady. This will be an extremely geriatric pregnancy this time around. So, yeah, I'm going to do the PGS testing to get that done. Let me see. That was a Thanksgiving video. Here it is. New supplements. Is it this one? Let's see. It was a long video. I think this is it, because I think, oh yeah, yep, this is it. So let's see. Copy. Alright, y'all. Wow, that would be great if we get the second from one of those two. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey JB. Alright, so I'm actually watching. Oh, thanks. You got it. Although it didn't. Oh, that's not the link. I got the link here. But that's the one. Oh, I'm not watching on the computer from my own channel. I'm watching from another one, so I can't drop the link. Tanika, can you drop the link to the video in the chat? Yeah, I appreciate that. Since you found it. Are you going to test something? Yeah. Oh, that's risky, Boston girl. Because being able to test them, that means she has to unfreeze them, biopsy them, freeze them again, and then hope they survive a second thaw. Oh, it won't hyperlink. Okay. All right. Appreciate you. Because I'm not, my computer is not signed into my Google account. It's signed into a different Google account right now. So, I can't get in there. Yeah. Yeah, that's dangerous. But yeah, so essentially I'm going to be taking probably the same supplements. I do have a new one, but it's not really new to what I'll be taking. It's a my Tanika, you'll get a kick out of this. This is actually a glutathione supplement that my chiropractor is carrying, and it's mostly neck and AC, but it does have some glutathione in it. So it's a liquid. It's a I guess you can call it a tincture, but it's a liquid supplement, and you have to keep it in the refrigerator. So I don't have it in front of me. Okay, did you test for your son, Boston girl? I'm not sure who you're referring to. If they don't work and I have to do another IVF, I'll definitely do genetic testing. Okay, makes sense. Yes, 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 yes. So I was taking neck by itself. This one, the bottle was listed as glutathione, so I was interested in it. And believe it or not, I bought it. It cost me $75 to buy the supplement from them, and apparently you can't get it in the store. It has to be prescribed by a physician somewhere. But I got it. I brought it home. I put it in my refrigerator, not in the most safe place in the door. I was rushing probably a few days later. I never even taken the supplement. Flung the door open. The supplement went flying out of the door onto the tile floor and broke. So $75 worth of supplement just on the floor. So I had to pay another $75 to get another bottle for a supplement that I never even got to try. So, girl, it's like it hit the floor. It was still in the box. It hit the floor, and I smelled it right away. I could smell it, and I said, it's in a glass bottle. That bottle broke when it hit the floor, and all of it just a waste. A waste of glutathione and neck all over my kitchen floor. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I was so disgusted with myself, but I've since cleaned out my refrigerator door, and the supplement that's in there now is snug and safe and will not fly out of the refrigerator like that anymore. So I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I meant to film about that. I don't even think I recorded a video to talk to you about that. So I'm glad I get to tell that story now. It's tell you the things we do for TTC, man. That's what I was telling Rachel Faith earlier, because I was explaining that even though I have insurance cooperation with my cycles, the IVF is still not cheap for me. You know, I'm still looking at close to $10,000 to spend on just the first retrieval, probably another 4 or 5 to spend on a second retrieval. And then, then there's acupuncture every week, leading up to these cycles and during. And then there's the supplements and these things. You want good supplements, they are not cheap. Not cheap. And so there is a lot of money to spend in this journey, and it's not just about what insurance will pay. So I feel for all the women who don't have insurance cooperation and are paying for things completely out of pocket, because it's hard to make these decisions. Like, you want to go to acupuncture, or you want to take these supplements, but then you can't afford to do them in addition to paying for everything that has to be done in these IVF cycles too. So there was a lot of money to be spent here. I'm telling you, fertility is for show a business. And if I had time to go through the medical school, I would probably get in on it. Because I'm doing something wrong with all the money they seem to be taking. There are obviously more lucrative professions out here. So, and I do pretty good in my profession, but there are some way more lucrative ones. That's what people don't understand. Even with insurance, you need to access to funds. Yep, things come up that you don't anticipate, or that you have to wait to get reimbursed. Yep. And there are plenty of things that are involved in the IVF process that insurance does not cover, like PGS testing. Some insurances don't cover ICSI if you have to pay for that. Some insurances don't cover cryopreservation, which if you want to keep the embryos that you have left over in the freezer, that costs money, and that's not cheap. You know, my insurance doesn't cover acupuncture, but I can use my HSA card for acupuncture. You know, different things like that. Like my insurance before, because I had United Healthcare before, um, was a pain covering chiropractic, and now Blue Cross Blue Shield is a little bit better about the chiropractic. I think I get 20 chiropractic visits a year. Thank goodness I'm in maintenance right now. So I get to go once a month or roughly every 4 weeks. So in order to use up my 20 visits, but it's just, every insurance is different as far as what they cover, what they don't cover. If you don't have an FSA card or an HSA card, this money can be hard to come up with. And, there's a lot of money to spend in acupuncture. I think I was paying $85 a session, and we're talking once a week. And during a cycle, um, I think it's like 3 times in a week. Once before the retrieval, or no, well, for a transfer, once before the transfer, once after the transfer. So, there's a lot. There's a lot. Oh, yep, the hatching, the assisted hatching, they don't cover. Some insurance, well, they should be covering anesthesia, but maybe there's a loophole there that for IVF they won't cover anesthesia, or that gets covered under something different. But so I suggest get a loan from a credit union. Interest rate can be cheap. Yep. Or if you can pay it, maybe a zero interest for a 2 year or 1 year credit card. You know, if you can get one of those, because that would even be better for a loan if you can pay it off. Only if you can pay it off. If you don't think that you can pay it off before that interest rate kicks in, then maybe not the credit card, because then you'll probably end up paying more than just a loan. Yeah, had to pay up front and then wait to get reimbursed for anesthesia. Yep. Yeah, I mean, Boston Girl, you know what? There weren't people like us out here giving all this great information. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just, it's always that if you knew better, you do better, right? So that's where we out here trying to help. Help all the ladies that's coming behind us. Yeah, because it's, people get into this and they don't realize there's some nickel and diamond involved. It's like sometimes you go into IVF and not realizing you flying Frontier or Spirit. You got to pay for this and pay for that, and pay for this and pay for that, and nobody told you up front. What the options were and what all these little things are, and then you got to come up with this money last minute. You know. Yep, that IVF that I had to pay out of pocket for, that I was told I needed to pay out of pocket for while I was already 9 days into stimming. I had 3 days to come up with $7,500, or I could kiss my 22 eggs goodbye that were currently stimming. So, you know, I gotta thank my RE for that stress. For him not doing that paperwork like he was supposed to and got my pre-approval in. But that was not an easy time. Thank the Lord for great credit that I could, get that money. Yes, yes, Simply Tanika, yes. Boston Girl, Arlette, and a few others that I watched and watched and watched and got so much information from. So much information from. So it's just, it's not even just, like I said, these doctors, they're not gods. They're humans. They make mistakes. These mistakes often cost us money. These mistakes can cost you a baby. It can cost your entire cycle. And you can't be afraid to step away from a cycle and just say, you know what, no, let's cancel it. Because that's the other thing I think women don't understand. Like, if you are familiar enough with what's supposed to happen and what's going on with IVF, most of the money is spent on egg retrieval and the growing of those embryos, right? So if you find yourself in a position like, yeah, maybe you already spent the medications and you use them up until you actually have the retrieval, you can cancel your cycle. You don't have to do what the doctor tells you to do. You can say, you know what, I want to cancel this cycle. I don't like how things are going. I'd rather start over. Because trust me, canceling the cycle, unless you pay thousands of dollars on your medications, some women, can maybe get some kind of coverage on the medication. Maybe they're paying a copay or something, even though they don't get coverage anywhere else. But if maybe you spent $4,000 on medications already and maybe want to see what you can get out. But if you feel like your cycle is not going well, or they're not stemming enough eggs, or maybe they messed up somewhere, you can cancel your cycle and be like, you know what, I don't want to do the egg retrieval, so they don't charge you all that extra money. I know a lot of times they want to get that money up front. They got the money up front. They could either hold it for the next cycle that you're going to do after that, or they can reimburse you that money back. You do not have to go forward with an egg retrieval. You can let all those eggs ovulate on their own. And another thing for anybody who's watching this, and that is, IVF is not a sure thing, right? You pay all this money for a maybe. You go through all of this for a maybe, right? It's not a sure thing that you're going to get pregnant and you're going to bring a baby home, right? I've heard stories about women who get to egg retrieval. The doctors go in to retrieve their eggs and they've ovulated them already. There was nothing to get out of any of their eggs. And because maybe they ovulated early, every woman's body is different. So some women are going to ovulate sooner than others. The doctors think they can control what's happening with your body with medication. That's not the case. Your body is going to do what it's going to do when it's going to do it. All the doctors can attempt to do is try to control what your body does. The girl who got me wanted me did IVF. She to this day doesn't have a baby, and I have my daughter. Wow. Is she still trying, Boston girl? Did she do IVF and just wasn't successful with it? I don't know if she's still trying or not. You just never know when IVF is so expensive. Married now and over it. Okay. Yeah. So it's not a short thing. Sometimes feel like gambling. Your heart, your money, and hope are on the table. You could walk away with nada. Absolutely. And I tell people all the time, you spend all this money for a big fat maybe. Maybe I'll bring a baby home. Maybe I'll get pregnant. And getting pregnant is also not a guarantee of bringing a baby home either. So it's just, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just trying to keep folks grounded in reality. A lot of people go into IVF with misconceptions. and they find out the hard way. It's just not a guarantee. Failures happen even when the conditions are perfect. My first transfer was a perfect 5AA embryo. Didn't take. So and it was a 5AA. It was a 5AA PGS tested normal embryo. Didn't take. With perfect conditions in my uterus. So said my RV. Didn't take. There are other things that, it's not just the embryo. It's not just whether it's PGS tested or not. There are other things that can contribute to whether your baby sticks or not. And a lot of that has to do with the environment the baby is going in. My vitamin D was in the toilet. My doctor, my RE didn't want me to do the progesterone and oil that cycle, which I honestly believe is what led to that cycle not working, is the fact that he did not want me to do progesterone and oil. And the suppository progesterone that I was taking was not absorbing in my body whatsoever. And I believe that's what caused that cycle to fail. I don't know that with 100% certainty. There's no way that I can prove it. So I just try to move on about it. But you know, that was my little girl. So I'm like, it was really hard. Out of my 6 embryos that were PGS tested, only one of those embryos was a girl. And I only had 2 embryos that were PGS normal. And I didn't have fertility drugs. I was on credit cards with no babies. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I hear you, Boston girl. Um, my RE didn't want me to do progesterone and oil because they were intramuscular injections, and he thought it wasn't safe to give myself the intramuscular injections, which I didn't understand because both of my trigger shots um, for my egg retrievals were intramuscular injections that I gave myself. So people give themselves intramuscular injections all the time. I don't know why. He was like, and I had it. He when he ordered my meds for the first retrieval, he ordered the progesterone. So I had the progesterone and oil. I had the needles. There was no reason why I couldn't just take it. But he was very adamant about me not being on the progesterone and oil, and I do believe that ultimately that was why that cycle didn't take. It was either why or a contributing factor, one or the other. So my vitamin D could have been another contributing factor, but I think the progesterone and oil was a big one. So it's so much. It's a lot. It's a lot to this journey. Again, it's expensive financially, physically, and emotionally. Expensive. And it's not for the faint of heart at all. And then there's the stress that comes after that. Maybe you get the baby, maybe you don't get the baby, but if you if you go into debt doing this, then you got the stress of paying all of that back. Perfect scenario. How many more babies do I want? Just one, preferably a girl. I like the idea of the best of both worlds. One boy, one girl. Am I lighting it on fire? That's what it feels like, Boston girl, isn't it? That's what it feels like. It feels like you're just tossing the money in the air and hoping, hoping something comes out of it. You know, there are no money trees, right? I wish there really was a money tree you could grow in the backyard. Well, no, forget the backyard. Inside the house, under fluorescent light. I wish, I wish, I wish. No, the backyard, somebody will steal it out the backyard. You want to grow it in the house. So, in a dark room with under fluorescent light, so nobody knows you're growing it. Away from the windows. It's tough. You need money to take care of your babies. Absolutely. And I've watched documentaries. I've seen people lose their homes. Like their homes go into foreclosure trying to do IVF cycle after cycle after cycle. And it's just like, even if you get your baby, you don't want to bring your baby home to a cardboard box. There's got to be a limit. Like, you got to have a limit. Another reason to not wait too long, I was able to qualify for a money back guarantee on my IVF because I was under 40. Oh, yep. Well, that's great. See, Arlette, that deal you got, not a lot of clinics are offering that money back guarantee. But I think we all know that they make sure you are in the best of criteria for getting good results in order for you to qualify for that program. $100,000. Did she get her baby? Hey, Mrs. Wilson. It even covered miscarriage. Wow. Yeah, cause that deal is bring your baby home. Like, it doesn't count if you don't get to bring the baby home. You gotta bring a baby home or your money back. JB Tamika, I'm doing my daughter's hair, and I'm not commenting a lot, but wanted to know how you've been coping, or did I miss that part? Um, Coping in what way, JB? I got a lot going on over here. I want to make sure I answer your question specifically. Coping in what way? You mean with the loss of my niece, or just as a single mom in general? Let me know. That is awesome. Yeah, come home with a baby or money back. Yep. She had two babies, lived in New York in a closet. I still own that documentary. What's it called, Boston Girl? Because I've watched a lot of like IVF documentaries. But I mean, it's crazy. I don't know. Do any of you ladies watch that 9 months with Courtney Cox on Facebook Watch? I like that show. And if you're familiar with why can I not think of their names? Her little baby, her daughter's name is Victory. They're featured on that show. Tim and her husband's name is Tim. Why can I not think of her name? If you're watching this, My Fruitful Journey, yes, thank you. What is her name? Candace, thank you. Tanika, you might have missed it. I talked about my mommy brain, man. It's like your brain goes completely to marshmallow. I can't remember anything anymore. Candace and Tim, yeah, they're featured on that show. But there's a lot of good couples. I think the first season there was a woman there. I think she was like 50. Was she 50 or pushing 50, something like that? And she put in two embryos and got pregnant with twins. It was her last chance at having a baby. Plan B, single women choosing motherhood. Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up. I haven't seen that one. I'm gonna have to look that up. Maybe that one we could find that on YouTube or something. Or if not, maybe some kind of Amazon Prime type deal. If this next round work, I'll be 50 at delivery. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it can be done. It's not for everybody, but it can be done, Sneaker. I'm rooting for you. You know what's funny? I was on YouTube. Two reality shows contacted me to be on their reality shows. Yeah, I heard you mention that before. It's it's a lot to be on a reality show, and I think you want to I guess, bring awareness that, for something like this. I don't know the reasons why Tim and Candace decided to, go on the 9 months with Courtney Cox. It's a rare opportunity, I guess. But, there are a lot of stipulations. I think she had to like remove all the videos from her channel, while all that was going on. You know what I'm saying? There was information that was already out there that they had to take down. So there's a lot of stipulations to that. There's some sacrifices to be made to be on reality TV because they want exclusivity of the situation, right? They don't want people getting to the punchline before everything is aired and all of that great stuff. So, I interviewed for 2 shows. They really want to control your content and mold your storyline. Yeah, sometimes it's just not worth it. Sometimes it's not worth it. She is quiet lately. I wonder if she's doing another show or doing that one again. They were featured on the second season um of that show. There may be a third season, which might be why she's been so quiet. I've been in contact. Well, I can't say I've been in contact lately, but I had been in contact with her on Instagram. So I kind of know some things, but I don't want to ruin it for everybody. It's not my story to tell. Um, so she may be involved. Like the second season I watched, she wasn't as featured as she was the first season. My friend in Chicago. Are you referring to Sandra? Sandra's been posting. She's been posting. She did recently get pregnant, but there's been some issues with that pregnancy. Um, some part of that story where she is not she's not released yet. So I want to give her respect and telling her story. But she had a transfer recently, and she did get pregnant from that transfer, but she's had some complications with it early on. And so I think the last video she posted, I think she said she might be losing her baby in that video. So, if you're interested in her journey, she's also a single mom by choice. She's over, I think she's 48 now. This is for her baby number 2. How are you coping with the loss of your niece, the holidays, and your son in general? Okay. All right, JB. Yeah, it's difficult. I would say I'm just now coping now. As far as the loss of my niece, if you've never had to like plan someone's final arrangements, you know, it's an involved process. But if you've not been responsible for a person who has passed away, it's more than just their final arrangements, right? You're dealing with tying up loose ends with their life in general. So, the house that she was renting and the landlord who was trying to sell it and dealing with her belongings and just dealing with her mail and things that are coming because people don't know that she passed away, so they're sending unpaid bill notices, and so contacting these people and filling them in on what's going on and that they're not going to get their money or whatever the case may be. She had shutting down her cable bill and making sure the cable company got their equipment, and um you know, dealing with family drama that always happens when someone passes away. And, yeah, I got a week off of work for bereavement, but anybody who's had to be involved in these things, who've had to be involved more than just attending a service, knows a week is not long enough, right? This stuff goes on for months and months and months on end, while you're dealing with those things, and you're just busy with that. So I had a week off of work, and then I went right back to work, and it was an extremely busy time. It was probably the most inopportune time all year long for someone to pass away. Unfortunately, death is not convenient for anybody. And so it's just, for me, it was like family over everything. I'm taking my time, and y'all just gonna have to deal without me for that week, even though it was an extremely busy week and the most inopportune time for my customers for me to be out. Um, I So between that and going back to work, being extremely busy back to work, dealing with the drama with family and trying to get her arrangements done, finally getting the arrangements, um, organizing the service, having the service, and then being extremely busy for work. I am now on vacation from work. I took the last 2 weeks of the year off, so I'm just only now getting time to breathe and have that room for the free thinking and remembering and focusing. So even though she's been gone about 6 weeks now, I'm only just now starting my grieving process. Um, I wasn't so worried while my hands were busy. That was good for me in that time and trying to get things done. You're just so busy with trying to get things done and done by a certain time that you don't really think about your grief process and how you feel. You don't get time to really do it. Now that all of that stuff is over and I have more free thinking time, this is when grief really starts to set in for me. Unfortunately, but fortunately, my sitter is also on vacation, so I don't have a break from the baby in this process either. I think that's a blessing in disguise. I was really looking forward to time off without the baby so I could really have time to myself. But I think the blessing is that I do have the baby so I can't fall completely apart. So I'm coping as well as one could possibly could. I've also experienced a lot of loss in my life, so my level of coping might not be on the same as others. So I do have to preface with that, right? So I don't want to say I'm desensitized, um, but this is just a hard time of year in general. As I've been explaining to some people, there's a lot of loss in my family around this time of year. So it has been 10 years on September 18th that my niece's mother was killed in a domestic violence incident. Um, my niece. Sorry, that was my alarm. My niece passed away on November 7th this year. My father, it's been 16 years that my father passed away on November 26th of this year, which happened to be Thanksgiving Day. This year was the day after Thanksgiving in 2004 when he passed away. Um, it's been 4 years since my sister Gwen passed away. That was December 4th. And it'll be 10 years since my grandmother, my mother's mother, the only grandmother I really, really knew, although I did meet my dad's mother. She passed away when I was 6, but my mother's mother passed away on December 20th, 10 years ago. So it's just a really, really hard time of year. Adding additional loss on top of that makes it that much harder. Um, and I'm grateful to have my baby to remind me that there are good things that happen in this life. And my niece is a real hard one because when I moved here to Florida, I was by myself. I moved here completely by myself, and I was by myself for a number of years. When she moved down here, she wasn't the easiest person to live with by any means. But it was nice to have some level of family here in Florida with me. And it was her and her daughter who was just shy of 2 when she moved down. They lived with me for 6 years. And then she had moved out finally, and I was happy that she had moved out, but she had been moved out for 2 years. And like the snap of a finger, she was gone, and 2 days later, so was her daughter because her father came and scooped her up. I didn't even get to say goodbye. That's all part of the family drama and all of that. So it's just, I feel like I lost two people in this situation. To also add insult to injury, my niece was very young. She was only 33, and she did have an autopsy, but medical examiner results, or at least toxicology or whatever, takes 16 weeks to come back. So we still don't know exactly what happened to her. So the not knowing is really painful as well too. So that's tough. So this is just a lot. And then you tack on work stress and then regular life stress and all of that. It's a lot. It's a lot. The the only good thing I can say after saying all of that is that I've been through a lot that has kind of groomed me in a way to kind of deal with some of this. So I'm probably in a better position than a lot of people would be otherwise if they were facing the same thing to the same levels. So I'm coping. Yes. I have been seeing a counselor since my sister was killed in 2010. I was overdue for, like, through my whole TTC process. I was seeing my counselor. Even after pregnancy, my first year of pregnancy, I continued to see her once a month. I had not seen her since before baby G's first birthday, so I was well overdue to see her. I did make an appointment, and I saw her not this past Monday, but the Monday before. Um, and she was grateful that I reached out as well, considering, again, this is a lot, and I have a history of major depression, so there have been a lot of people kind of on me about the whole postpartum thing, which I do think I think I maybe got a touch of about a year after baby G was born. Um, I don't know if it was really baby blues or if it was just me being burnt out with work as I adjusted to the whole new working mom role that I'm in. So there was kind of that where I was kind of feeling down quite a bit, and that was tough. And it was just kind of a litany of a lot of things that led up to my niece's passing that made it that much more stressful. Um, but I'm coping, right? I'm here. I'm able to have a conversation. I did get a little choked up. I'm trying to, you know, keep some of the emotions back. I have been told by professionals that I have an uncanny ability to compartmentalize my emotions. That's a blessing and a curse. Makes me successful at what I do under extreme stress. So it's just it's a lot. I'm coping. I'm doing okay for now. I'm grateful that the baby is here, but I do have these moments where I am emotional and the baby frustrates me, and I have to do something. I can't just scream at him all the time. I certainly don't want to take my frustrations out on him. So I think I mentioned earlier in this video that we went for a walk because he gets cabin fever. He gets incredibly defiant, and he doesn't listen, and he doesn't want to take his naps and all of that, and so he has to get out of the house. And I'm fine being within these walls as a hermit, but he is not. So I have to do that for him. We went for a walk because I was going to lose my mind yesterday if I didn't. And I realized after the walk that I needed to walk just as much as he did, and it was a nice little reset. So um, that's a long way to say I'm okay. I'm dealing with a lot, but I'm okay. Yeah. Yes. Praying for Chandra. Yes, Tanika. She's got a lot going on. The one I'm talking about had a daughter who had lunch with her. Oh, she did again. Yeah, Sandra. Damn, what's her her it's her name, Sandra Wiley, Wiley. That's her channel. JB, you continue to be in my prayers spiritually. I can tell you have such a great heart. Just checking on you. Thank you, JB. Thank you. I think some people miss that part. um, families are complicated things. I never want to talk bad about my family, but my family doesn't bond well in situations like this. We don't necessarily come together well and support each other in situations like this. So a lot of what was going on was left entirely to me. Not just what needed to be done, but what needed to be paid for. I won't. I'm not going to say I didn't get any assistance. Her father did chip in financially as well, but coordinating this kind of thing, coordinating people and egos and what everybody wants to do is a lot too, and all of that weighs on me stress wise. And I do have a toddler at home with no break. I'm a single mom. There's nobody I can pass him off to aside from my sitter, and I'm grateful to have one that he can go to regularly. And I was grateful to be able to, send him off to the sitter to do what I need to do during the day and the time that I had off for my bereavement and stuff. So that was great as well. So it's just I think I have him at the right time, like absolutely when I need him. And I do think that God does know what he's doing, and his timing is never off. And I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for who I have. I'm grateful to have been able to be there for my niece the way she needed me to be. And I can sleep at night knowing that I did all that I could do. And I can't speak for anybody else and how well they sleep at night, but I know that I can sleep at night, and that's all that I'm concerned about. That was a lot. JB only like the holidays because I've been blessed with my 5-year-old. My mom died at 14. I'm 44, so there it goes. Anyhow, I'm so sorry, JB. Prayer and time and moments of thankfulness and gratitude. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Arlette. Praying for you. All those things are hard on their own, let alone all together. Yes. Thank you. Like I said, it's a lot. But unfortunately, planning a funeral service on my own was not my first rodeo. I got that training 4 years ago with my sister. So, um, you know, family was a little bit more gracious this time around. I guess I can be thankful about that. But this was just it's a lot, and it still feels very unbelievable that she's not here. Every time I open my phone, there's a constant reminder of her. And now, just like when my sister passed, now I again don't have an emergency contact. It's there are all these things that are involved when somebody passes away, especially someone who is close to you. My sister was my emergency contact on everything. And it just seemed like everywhere I stepped in, and they said, "Oh, you want to every year, you want to update your emergency contact." When I had my medical procedures, I got this constant reminder that she wasn't here anymore, and I was just looking at some information of mine somewhere, probably in a medical portal or something somewhere. My niece was listed as emergency contact for me. And I'm like, dog, something else to change. And I don't even know. There really isn't anybody here in Florida for me to list as an emergency contact. So it's just like, who do I list as my emergency contact? It's one of the more basic things, but they're triggers, they're triggers, these constant reminders. She's like a favorite on my phone, so every time I swipe a certain thing, I'm seeing her picture and her name when I scroll through my text messages or my Facebook Messenger. She's in there, and just constant reminder that she's not here, and things I'm watching and things that are happening this year that I can't talk to her about, or things that I was talking to her about that hadn't been resolved that are now being resolved that I can't talk to her about. The end of it. So it's just okay, baby. Okay. All right. Yes, him unhappy. Yes, I know. Yeah, him kind of waking up now. Yeah. Okay. It's okay. You don't have to go back to sleep. Or maybe you want to. I don't know. He's getting fussy now. So, okay. What's wrong? What do we want to do? We want to wake up or we want to go back to sleep? What do we want to do? we're not sure. Yeah, so sorry, JB. I didn't mean to be so long winded, but it's a loaded question. It's a loaded question. So there's a lot to unpack. Well, yeah, I am I am doing as well as I can. Um, yes. So I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I haven't broken anything. I'm still alive. My baby's still alive. um, I'm grateful. I am grateful. So, uh, but yes, I do appreciate all prayers. I do have a teething toddler. So, no, 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 it's not. You didn't upset me. Um, you didn't upset me at all, JB. Don't feel bad. It's just, like I said, I'm just now starting my grieving process. There was, for most of this, before her services, there were times where I thought about her and I got extremely sad, but for some reason I couldn't cry. And that's the part of me that's like, you can't fall apart, you got too much to do, right? So it's just like, I'm sad and I feel emotional, but the tears won't come, and I feel like they need to, but then they don't. And in preparing for her service, one of the last things I did was a slideshow, and editing that slideshow, I cried all the way through. And for anybody here who has a YouTube channel and has had to edit videos, you know what that's like. You put it together, you put part of it together, you play it to make sure it's right. You put more of it together, you play it to make sure it's right. You get it all together, you play it to make sure it's right. So you are constantly watching and rewatching and rewatching and rewatching, before you actually produce it, to be shown. And then even after it's produced, you're watching it again to make sure that that got produced properly. And so that a lot of time and effort goes into that kind of thing. And I mean, I cried every single time I had to play it and watch it. It was boohoo tears all over the place. And but I needed to get it done. And it also meant that if I had that much emotion behind watching it, that um, I hope that it did its justice for everyone else, who got to see it. So, you know, there's that too. So it's not. I felt like that was the beginning of my grieving process, but then right after that, I had 2 very busy weeks. Actually, yes, 2 very busy weeks of work right behind that. So I didn't really get in it too deep. Um, so I've been leery of this time on vacation and how exactly I will be. I think right now I'm just kind of in the decompressing phase. So I've not been doing anything. I've not really been doing much other than laying around watching Christmas movies. um, and or movies in general, binge watching things on Netflix, and just making sure that I manage to eat and the baby manages to eat and stay sane, for the last few days. I mean, today's what, Thursday? So that's all I've been trying to do recently. So, but I've also been taking a few phone calls and things from other people regarding my niece. So, I want to say today maybe she's weighing a lot heavier on my mind and my heart. So going forward, some of that. So it's not you. It's me and my grief process. Um, any upset that I will feel will come just thinking about her in general. Whether you ask about it or not. So please don't feel bad. I don't want you to feel bad. I know that you care, and you're only asking because you care, and and I appreciate that because I often live under a rock in a bubble, and I need people to knock on my rock every now and again, you know, to make sure I'm okay. So thank you, and I appreciate you and everyone else who cares and have offered their prayers and condolences and everything. So it's just been tough, and I'm also kind of dreading getting back into the video edits because um one of the last things that I recorded before her passing was Baby G's first birthday, and she was here at the house for that. And that means I'm going to have to, see her on video, and that's going to be difficult, for me. It's one of the last times that, a lot of my extended family got to see her, even though it was a Zoom party. Um, so I wasn't going to do the Zoom party. Sandra kind of badgered me into doing the Zoom party. So I'm glad that I did it. It was a good time. And even now that she's passed away, I'm even more glad that I did it because, like I said, that was some extended family who had not seen her in a while got a chance to see her that way. And so, blessings in disguise, right? You just never know why things occur the way they occur. But God knows what He's doing, right? So that is what it is. No, none of us knew. Just 3 weeks later, you know, she wouldn't be with us anymore. So it's tough. It's tough. Now I had a conversation with her dad earlier today, so she's already been on my mind and heart. So, um, you know, it is what it is. All right, so not to make this a sob show, but yeah, that's what's going on. Real life happens, y'all. Real life happens. The world doesn't stop turning because you have a baby. You just got to get through it the best way you can. So, but I'm doing okay. I am doing okay. This one here keeps me occupied and busy enough. As long as we don't drive each other crazy. All right. So, even though I said 2 hours ago that I was going to hang up, but now we're about 3 hours into this live. I'm sending you my prayers. I'm glad to hear you're doing okay and getting through this really sad time. I know, especially hard around the holidays. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. My plants and I are happy. That's a good name. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I know I've gone quite a bit dark on Instagram. I've gone completely dark on my Facebook group, and I guess for the last 3 weeks, and probably some time before that, I was a little dark. So I haven't forgotten you, you all. Thank you for rocking with me through this, and I'm hoping to get caught up soon. Right, Oreo? Yes. Hi, kitty. So, I do have, I guess you can call my emotional support animals, the three cats who have been extra clingy to me in the last few weeks. Um, so I guess I got upset, and here comes Oreo and all his emotional support right now. So, yes, yes. I'm glad you were able to join too. You and Boston Girl and everybody. I got to stop doing these impromptu lives, but for me, it's kind of the quickest way to get you. I know it's like the quickest way for me to get you all information that doesn't require the time and effort that requires editing, right? The only problem with that is these lives tend to be very long, and people are, in general, not going to want to sit for a 3 hour, 3 hour live if they missed it already. So I apologize to those folks. But the lives, of course, wouldn't be as long as they are if it wasn't for you great people coming in and participating. So it's always good to interact with you directly instead of just in what, second person, third person, or whatever it is when I record the video and you're just watching. So thank you, Tanika. I'm trying to cook, prep a video, and watch and listen. I know. I know the last time when I was on your live, I was working. And that work went into like 4 o'clock in the morning. I kept working until 4 o'clock in the morning. It was crazy. But I'm glad to be off, and I haven't touched anything work related since then, which I'm probably going to get screamed at later because there is a bit that I needed to kind of babysit for a customer, but I needed the time to myself, so they'll get over it. I'm not going to worry about it. They'll get over it. But yeah, nobody's paying me for all this extra overtime. I'm salaried, so I don't have to choose to use my time in that way. That work can wait. You deserve the time. Yes, yes, and actually, this is the first time that I've actually had time off that I did not work on my scheduled time off. I want to say I was off last Friday, and I worked. Um, Trying to get some stuff. Did I work last Friday? Yeah, I worked until 4 o'clock in the morning. So technically, I worked last Friday, but the Friday before that, scheduled day off, I worked over 15 and a half hours that day on my day off. I think I deserve some time to myself. So, um, yeah, deadlines are deadlines, that kind of thing. But, you know, I, in times like this, I do tend to bury myself in work, and I need to not do that. I have other obligations, responsibilities, and things to bury myself in other than work. So, because I'm not a single woman anymore now, I'm a single mom. So burying myself in work is not healthy for me, for my baby, for everybody involved. So there. All right. We've officially crossed the 3 hour mark. I have to bid you all adieu now. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your participation. You make the time go by so very quickly. You all do. So this time I'm going to actually get off so I can eat something because now it's dinner time and I didn't even have lunch. So sticky baby dust to all those TTC. Thank you again. It's always a pleasure. So great talking to you all. Enjoy your holiday, and I will be back New Year's Eve. So come holler at me. We got 3 hours, 3.5 hours of conversation that we can make come New Year's Eve. If you're not doing anything, come spend New Year's Eve with me. Baby G will probably sleep through most of it, but come spend New Year's Eve with us in my fireplace if I can find firewood. Without having to drag my baby into a store, okay? So happy holidays. You know what, folks? Tell somebody you love them, kiss them, hug them, give them the flowers while they're still here. Tomorrow's not promised. All right? So, God willing, we'll see you all on New Year's Eve. Happy holidays. Bye.